Welcome to Manufacturing Talks with Jim Vinosky. Industry has a million cool stories, and Jim talks to the movers and shakers who are making them happen. Let's dive in.
Hello. Welcome to Manufacturing Talks with Jim Vinosky. I'm your host, Jim Vinosky, and I'm happy to be here with Amy Robbins, CEO, founder of Alexo Athletica. Welcome, Amy.
That's right. Hi, Jim. How's it going? It's great to be here.
It's going great. A few things a little crazy, but we'll get through it.
Yes, if there's not a technical difficulty with the podcast, do you really have a podcast? I mean,
I know. I do not claim to be a professional. And yes, so for those of you wondering, this is our second start to the podcast, but here we go. So yeah, very glad to have you here, Amy.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that I just talked to you to do that Forbes article. And I have to say, thank you so much for doing that article and highlighting Alexo, because it really opened us up to an entirely new audience that we've wanted to reach, we've wanted to get out there. And, you told me that there was a great reception to the article, and I would love to hear about that, because sometimes you get so comfortable speaking to the same audience over and over again that you don't really know when you introduce a topic like what we touch on with Alexo. We make clothing that gives women the option to carry self-defense tools on their body. And well, that shouldn't be a controversial topic by any means, keeping women safe. Just the entire topic surrounding the types of tools that you can put in there. You can carry everything from mace and a taser and a firearm. And, sometimes people tend to focus simply on the tool itself instead of the good that's coming from the tools. And so it's very good to hear that people were receptive to the article and to the solutions that we're solving as a company.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I myself have a bit of a background in the firearms world. My dad was a life member NRA. I'm life member NRA, but I'm not obviously as connected as you are. And I've seen where things kind of get into the niche, and you can see kind of the same people reacting. Well, I can tell you on this one, greatest response on the Forbes site in months and months and months for one of my articles. Wow. Yep. And then, you saw what happened on LinkedIn. Thousands and thousands of hits, dozens and dozens of comments. And it was from people across the board. It wasn't just the people, in my network who were in that firearms end of things that I'm tied into. It was people all across the board. And I think it goes to some of the things we miss sometimes in society. Yeah, there's the kind of extreme reaction when you start talking about these self-defense tools, but there's also that huge interest in women's empowerment. And that's really what you're all about, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That was the key to launching the company, because just a brief little background on how we got started with Alexo. You said that you're a lifelong NRA member. I was not. I didn't have a background in the firearm industry per se until about 2014, when I was cast to host a TV show for the NRA, actually.
Okay. Yep.
And I almost said no, because I was like, I don't fit the picture of an NRA member. Why in the world do you want me to host this TV show? And they're like, well, actually, because we realize that women are on the rise, and that's really what we're trying to go after. We're trying to change the face of this. We're trying to have our message that resonates with more women like you. And I was like, okay, I can get on board with that, because I've always been a Second Amendment supporter and have grown up around firearms, but I never actually incorporated firearms into my own life. I never made it personal. Until 2014, when I was training for a marathon, and I had been around firearms for the last year working on this show, highly trained. I was working with some of the best trainers in the entire industry, so I felt very safe and very comfortable around them, but I hadn't taken that next step to actually make it personal in my life. I thought carrying a gun on your body meant that you were paranoid. I thought that, I just didn't get it. I was like, nothing bad has ever happened to me before. Why do I need a gun on my body? So I was out training for a marathon one morning in my neighborhood that is very safe, which I hear all the time. And I did the same route every day. So I never felt uncomfortable. But this one day, I actually got followed and harassed by, it was a van full of about 7 men. And not only did they follow me one time, and they did the cat calls and they slowed down and all that kind of stuff, but they drove off. But then they slowed back around and they came back and they did it again. And it was at that moment that it all clicked in my head. I was like, okay, I am in no way going to be able to outrun or fight off 7 men. I mean, my chances fighting off one guy was going to be very slim, but 7, I'm a goner. And so it was the first time in my life I ever felt helpless and defenseless, and I hated that feeling. Yeah. So, of course, being around the firearms for the past year, I immediately went home and I was like, I'm going to get my license to carry. I'm going to get the different type of training you need. It's very different to conceal carry and have training versus just standing at a range and shooting a gun.
Sure.
So I was like, I'm going to get that kind of training. And then I'm going to carry it with me when I run. And then I was like, wait a minute. No, I'm not.
Right.
At that point in 2015, there was nothing on the market that allowed women to carry while they were wearing workout clothes. It was a fanny pack, it was a backpack, and those things are difficult for me to get to. I didn't want to have to wait, try to dig into a fanny pack or a backpack. So I was like, there's got to be a way to incorporate strong, reinforced carry pockets that would allow women to carry not just a firearm, but then I started thinking of all the things that I wanted to carry on my body and be hands-free when I'm running. My keys, my credit card, my phone, just anything that could be a distraction. I was like, I'm going to be distraction free at this point. I want to be focused on my run. I want to know what's coming up behind me, beside me. And it wasn't because I then kicked into paranoid mode. It was, I want to be prepared. I wasn't prepared last time. This time I want to be prepared. And so I want all the things in my body that a prepared runner needs, even down to a water bottle. I wanted a place to put my water bottle on my body, So being prepared is really a mindset. And I wanted to create a line of clothing that looked beautiful, that was fashionable, but it was also very functional, because I wore workout clothes 90% of the day, even if I wasn't working out. And it's very hard to conceal a weapon, much less all of your essentials, when you're wearing spandex. Let's be real.
Right.
Very, yes. So, I sat down, I started putting some sketches together. Actually, I had to tell my husband what I wanted, because I'm not an artist. I was not a sketcher. I'm a great artist. So he was like,
perfect,
sketching out my ideas on a piece of paper. And, I had no idea. We had no idea what we were doing. I didn't have a background in manufacturing. I did not have a background in any of this. The only piece of this I had a background in, I had been a model for 15 years in the entertainment industry. So I knew what women wanted to wear. I knew how I needed to fit. I knew how I needed to look. And then I just figured, well, we'll just go make it. We'll just go make it happen. And I had no idea what I was jumping into. And on one hand, I'm kind of glad I did it, because I'm a feet first, jump, just be all in 110%, just figure it out type of person. And, had I known all these challenges that we were going to face, it may have kept me from moving forward and doing all of it. So that's really kind of the idea behind how we got started with our company.
So it's a really great thing we didn't know each other back then, because of course I've got all that experience in manufacturing. I could have totally turned you off to the idea.
You know what? I had plenty of mentors within the fashion industry that are like, are you sure you want to do this? You want to get into apparel? This is probably the worst time to get into apparel and into clothing. There was a new workout clothes line popping up on Instagram every day. It seemed like it was a very saturated market, and yet nobody had a niche to enter into the market. And I knew that I was never going to have competition from the big name athletic brands. They were never going to put a holster in your pants. They were never going to focus on, the mission behind Alexo was always to give a woman a choice and to be empowered by those choices. And create a community and a lifestyle around your freedom to choose how you want to live a self-reliant life. And I knew like that can't be the messaging of any of these other companies. That you can be empowered different ways, but they're never going to say that you can be empowered by carrying a firearm or a mace or a taser or anything like that. And so I knew we had something really special coming at it from a very different angle. And that really was going to be the only way that we could enter into the market.
Yep. And so I know because of our talk for the article that you had some interesting experiences getting into that manufacturing world. So let's talk a little bit about that. Not to scare other people off. If you have a great idea, go for it. But yeah, here's a little bit of what you might have to deal with.
I mean, I still encourage people to go for it. But the biggest thing for us, we wanted to be made in America when we started off doing this. Again, I had no idea what minimum like MOQs were. I had no idea what sampling costs were. We had no idea. Just from an initial investment standpoint, we had X amount of dollars set aside that we were going to start this company.
And you're bootstrapping it too. So folks ought to know that. Yeah, it's all coming out of your own pocket.
Well, we're like, we got to prove a concept here and prove that there's a market before I could really go to investors. And I had conversations with angel investors. We'll talk about that all later. But you know, it's so I thought it was as easy as like Googling clothing manufacturers, and you know, most of them just hung up the phone on us. They wouldn't even pick up the phone. They would laugh at me if I told them what we were even wanting to make. You know, and they were like, no, like you're too small. Like this isn't even this. There's no way we'll even do this. So thankfully, I did have a mentor that was in the fashion industry, and they helped us along. They helped us find some manufacturers that would do, now this was overseas, that helped us do smaller minimum orders and stuff like that. We did find an American manufacturer who, again, and this is crazy, was one of our friends. We knew these people, like we knew them very, very well. But I tell people the manufacturing industry is shady and it can be filled with very sketchy people. So you have to be very careful about who you're doing business with. And it was lessons learned for us. But our American manufacturer actually took our deposit, which it's very typical to do a 50% deposit on your order, didn't deliver the products and didn't give us our money back. And so then you're out of product for the next season. You have you're not generating any revenue to put in on your next order. And we really did think that we were going to have to close I mean, we had so many moments happen within manufacturing that we thought this is it. We're going to have to close our door, you know, and then we just got creative and we found new partners to work with that helped dig us out of this hole. And here we are. We still face, I mean, there's still issues in manufacturing, just the processes that you face and logistics and your supply chain. I mean, there's just so many things that you will learn along the way, and hopefully your business can keep going while you're learning these mistakes and you don't get a really big hole.
Well, I mean, it's what I admire about folks like you and have through all my time in manufacturing is there's no hiding, right? You're either making stuff and selling it or you're not. And if you're not, cash flow has a nasty way of coming up to bite you.
Yes, it absolutely does. And if you have, you know, not predicted the trends in the market the right way, you didn't do the correct marketing, or people are just tired of your brand and they move on to something else. I mean, you're constantly having to reinvent. How do you capture their attention? I mean, you've got so much competition out there in the market, but you have to think too, you're prepping almost a year in advance. So if you have a bad season, you've already put money down on, you know, 3 seasons from now. So, you know, it's a very challenging, very tricky industry to be in. And it's not for the faint of heart, but I definitely say if you've got an idea, that shouldn't keep you from going after it and trying to figure this stuff out yourself, because if I can do it, anybody can figure it out. So
don't sell yourself short. It's phenomenal what you've done. So that leads to my next question is, I mean, obviously being tied in with the firearms world, I know sales have just been crazy for almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
How's that impacted your business?
Record sales. I mean, back when the pandemic started, so in 2020, there were record sales for the entire year, 8 million first-time gun owners. This
Yep.
didn't even include all the people that went and stocked up on more firearms. You know,
Right.
this is 8 million first-time gun owners. 40% of them were females. So we're seeing a huge shift in the market, which I had already started seeing this in 2015 because I was really dialed into what was going on within the industry and seeing, just having conversations with my own friends who may not have ever owned a firearm, but once they knew that I was getting into this and I could be a resource for them, they would come to me with their questions. And so I really started seeing personally in my own life more and more women wanting to get educated and get trained and then go buy their first firearm. Maybe it was just to sit in their house in a safe and never to be touched again. Whatever their reasoning is, we were just continuing to see this rise. And then as I started to see the trends of not just gun ownership, but then where concealed carry was going as well, I was like, this is the perfect time to launch something like this and take a risk and go for it, because people are not, they don't feel safe. There was a lot this last couple of years, people walking out their doors, when you hear, police are getting defunded across the country, violent crime rates are up. You really cannot question whether people need to have a way to protect themselves or not. And I always find it so funny when people want to say, well, why does a woman need a gun? Well, the gun is the great equalizer when it comes to men being bigger, stronger, and faster than women. It really, to me, is the great equalizer, but it's not the only option. I know there's a lot of women that aren't comfortable with a firearm. They'll never be comfortable carrying a firearm on their body. And that's ultimately what Alexo is here for. It's not just about the gun. It's so that you can choose whatever it is that you want that's going to make you feel safe in a situation and give you some extra time to get out of that situation if something bad should happen to you.
Yeah. And you made the point, even just having a phone that's completely accessible, that could make all the difference.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely could. So there's it's been an interesting road having these conversations with people, and I'm happy to have them. I don't get scared away from the backlash. It doesn't bother me. I actually look at it as opportunity to help educate people, because I've been there too. I've been scared of the firearm. I know a lot of this combativeness when it comes to firearms is because people either had a bad experience with the firearm or they're uneducated about them. They've never shot a gun before, and they see only the negative side of things. They don't hear the stories of people that were able to save their lives or their loved ones by having a firearm accessible to them. And so I actually love and welcome these conversations all the time.
So I'm going to try something new here. You want to look at some of your products?
Ooh, fancy.
How about it?
Look at that. There's our carry bikers.
Now that's a pretty new one, right?
So we had the black ones a couple of years ago. They sold out every time we bring them back in. And so then people were asking us for more colors. So we just got 4 more new colors and styles in those carry bikers.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah, but those things are so functional. They've got 2 side pockets that you can literally put a water bottle, your cell phone, and they don't bounce. That was very important to me, that we used high enough percentage of elastic and good quality nylon that gives it the compression it needs so that your phone's not bouncing out of your pocket. Your water bottle stays still. And then it's kind of hard to see, but then you've got all of what we call the carry pockets built into the waistband. So they're extremely compressive. We use a reinforced elastic and bands for our carry pockets where you actually put your self-defense tool, and they don't bounce. As long as you stay within the recommended weight, which is 23 ounces loaded weight or less, it's not going to bounce around when you go running. It's not going to move. And it reduces your need to have a big bulky holster or put an extra belt
something
your body, extra. And so it keeps your tool close to your body so that you don't print, which is one of like the biggest challenges for women when they are concealed carrying. is not seeing the outline of the gun or the taser or whatever it is. And so we've done, I think a superb job constructing something that allows it to sit so close to your body that just with a few tweaks with your shirt or some layers, you can't even tell that you're carrying.
Yeah. And so for people who aren't aware, number one, that's a legal aspect. When you're concealed carrying, you're not permitted to show that you're carrying. But then also just for comfort and for, you don't want the bad guys to know you're carrying either.
Exactly. No,
So
I mean that you want to, and that is something that's so great about Alexo is that you're wearing something that looks like you just stepped out of Lulu too, probably. And no one is going to be expecting you to have some form of tool on your body because you just wouldn't think that you could get it on there and they wouldn't be able to see it. And so, it fits seamlessly into your life, your current lifestyle, your active lifestyle. In this picture, I mean, gosh, I could pair it with blazers and high heels and go out the door and you got, you got to try the outfit on. But me, I'm so like athletic inspired that I have to have my athletic clothes on somewhere, some spandex somewhere.
Yep. There's another one.
Ooh, there's our signature pant. So that was the pant that started it all. That's why it's called the signature
really?
Pant. Yeah, it was really designed with marathoners and runners in mind. So everything from the moisture wicking, silky finish in the compression of the fabrics to all of the pockets, the reflective trim on those pants so that you can go running safely in low light situations. That's been our number one selling item. We're constantly updating it. So I think we're on our 3.0 version right now. But it is, I mean, these things will lift you up, they will suck you in, and they will smooth you out and give you a fantastic run.
It's a win in so many ways, right?
Women will appreciate that. Oh, love these. So this is actually a special edition collection that we did specifically for an organization that I'm on the board of called Face Forward International. It is, it's an organization that gives fully funded medical help and reconstructive surgery to victims of domestic abuse, human trafficking, and other violent crimes. So we did a limited edition special collection where the proceeds went to Face Forward.
Very nice. Excellent.
Yep. So we love partnering up with other organizations that understand our mission of empowering women, especially women that had been through something like this. So, so the all day pant was one of our brand new items this year. This is going to be like more of our athleisure collection. So as we start to transition, not just to being a workout line, but a full athleisure lifestyle line, these pants help us transition into that. So we get asked all the time, I want some pants that I could wear, to work. I'm a realtor and I need to be a little bit dressier than wearing leggings. So these are fantastic for that. They're so stretchy, comfortable. The fabric is just so luxurious, and we don't have it on the website, but I pair mine with high heels all the time, and you can really dress these pants up a lot and then still have the comfort that you're used to from an athletic line.
Yep.
Oh, and our carry runners. You know what? I am going to give my husband 100% credit for this.
Hey, what's his name?
His name is Drew. And Drew is
way to go, Drew.
He is the one that's always pushing me forward to say like, okay, we got to come out with this product. What about this? Have you thought of this? Because really when we started, I was wanting to play it a little bit safe. And I was like, well, we know the leggings sell, but how do we know that the shorts are going to sell? And then I tried to go running in my leggings in the Texas heat. And I was like, you had with the running shorts, let's get on that. Because a traditional running short, they're so tiny, like there is nowhere to put anything. So I hated running with my phone. Some athletic companies started putting like a small zipper pocket where you could put one key and a
key card or something.
Nothing that would fit your phone.
Yeah.
And so we just incorporated our the carry pockets where you could put your gun or your other self-defense tool. But we did take off the left appendix pocket, and we made a horizontal phone pocket that you could actually slip your phone into there. And it's quick, easy access. But again, it gives you the ability to run completely hands-free so that you can stay situationally aware, because that's the most important piece to all of this, is having clothing, having something that gives you the ability to be so aware of your surroundings that hopefully you never get into a situation where you're attacked or assaulted or anything else. But if you see someone coming towards you, you can act very quickly and get to all the tools, very easy and safely, that are stored in something like this, like your carry
Very
runners.
cool. Yep.
And that is one of my favorite pictures, because that is literally like the representation of the new firearm owners. I really believe that Alexo, I call this our Team Alexo photo, because I really love that this is the new face of gun ownership. I mean, you can't ignore it anymore. You can't ignore the diversity. You can't ignore that women are taking this upon themselves to get the training they need and to learn about this. But it's such a beautiful representation across the entire country of who's going out and buying firearms. African Americans are the fastest growing demographic for new firearm ownership. And, I'm just so glad people can rally around clothes. Clothing is something that can transcend just all lines. And if it's a beautiful functional piece of clothing and you feel like you're a part of a community of empowered women, then hopefully we're crossing all of those lines and bringing everybody together in this community.
Yep, definitely. Similarly.
Yep, same thing. So again, I was like, anytime we do these lifestyle shoots, I'm like, we have to get our Team Alexo picture, because I just think it's so beautiful. And I will tell you this, anytime we use models, we don't just call up our local agency and say, hey, like, give me your prettiest models. We actually vet them and ask them, hey, like, do these women believe in a woman's right to choose how she defends herself? Do these women, are they comfortable carrying a tool? Do any of them have their license to carry? If they don't have a license to carry, we don't put the gun in their pants. So I think in this one, I'm the only one that actually has the gun. The girl next to me has a taser. The girl next to her, nothing. The girl next to her, that red thing is a Kimber pepper blaster. And then I love this phone case on the end is actually a Yellow Jacket stun gun phone case.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so we try to showcase all the tools that women can use.
Yeah. Some other cool stories for me in the future there, huh?
Absolutely. Yep. And these were our carry joggers. So again, we're really increasing our athleisure collection. So we've now started to really round out the entire idea that this is a lifestyle.
Right.
We want women to be able to carry these tools and be situationally aware no matter what they're wearing. So whether they've got to wear their joggers or their skirts, their pants, their shorts, we want them to be able to incorporate these tools into their lifestyle seamlessly, easily, conveniently, and in such a stylish way that, because in the past, if you had a pair of joggers or you wanted to carry in a skirt or any other type of item, most joggers or pants like the all-day pants or skirts don't have a band that is firm enough to hold up the weight of a holster and a firearm.
Right.
And they don't come with belt loops.
Right.
So you were really limited to what you could wear. And so this lifestyle, people love the Alexo lifestyle because it already fits what they're wearing and they don't have to wear a belt. And so this is a really unique design. We've actually incorporated it in several of our products now called the tuck and carry design. So the tuck and carry design actually allows you to, it has that reinforced tight waistband, but then it also has a second layer to it in front of it where you can tuck your shirt in and it looks like you have on a normal pair of pants.
Oh yeah, I saw a video of that. That's really cool.
Yep.
Cool stuff. I think I have one more. Yeah.
Yeah, so these are actually, we were getting a ton of requests from women in the competitive shooting realm, and that were really wanting something a little bit more tactical, that fit their functionality when they did go to the range, because our concealed carry line is not really a range legging.
Right.
You should practice in them, but if you're really going to go out to the range, you want to have a holster. You want to have pockets and places to put all of your extra magazines and get to them very quickly. So we actually collaborated with a leading instructor, a female instructor in the industry. Her name is Bree Warner, and she owns a company called Tactigal NYC. So she teaches courses up in New York City, and she helped us design these from a very expert point of view on what, they need when they go to the range. So we put the belt loops on there. We put the magazine. You've got pistol magazine pockets and compartments. And then you also have AR magazines, a gear loop to clip your shot timer, your gloves. And then the belt actually allows you to put whatever holster it is you want when you're practicing. So you're not limited. Like our concealed carry pants, you're limited in weight limit to what you can carry. With the Athena leggings, when you've got a belt and you've got your own holster, you can carry a Glock 19 if you want to. You can carry a full size if you want to. So it gives you a little bit more options than just having the built-in concealed carry line that we had originally.
Very cool. Okay,
Thanks for going through all that.
That's all right. You sent me all those pictures for the article, so I felt like I was all set up for this discussion.
Prepared, yeah.
I do have to add one thing though. I showed your website and your products to a friend of mine who does not have a concealed carry license, and she's shot and things, and she's talked about it, but so far hasn't done anything. But she just loved your clothes and ordered your shorts and has them.
Oh my gosh, awesome.
They're just the best shorts I've got. So it's not just about the carry stuff.
It's not. And getting that across to people is so important for us with our messaging, that it's like, this really isn't just if you carry a gun, but you do have the option. We're no longer going to exclude this huge growing group of women that do carry firearms. We don't want to exclude them either, but you don't have to carry a gun to wear our stuff. But if
it's not a club.
Really, for me, a lot of times it's like getting the clothing on people and then them realizing, wait a minute, there's a spot to hold a self-defense tool. Well, maybe I need to start carrying some form of tool. So it's really more of a thought-provoking article of clothing that I want people to start thinking about. And I hear stories about that all the time. It's like, I didn't carry a gun, but I loved it. And then now I do carry a self-defense tool. Right.
So, And so you talked a lot about women, and something else I know from our past collaboration is it's not just women now, right?
It is not. So we're actually going to be launching our men's line in the fall. We have a big, huge collaboration coming out with Springfield Armory, which we are so excited about. They have really been such a force in the industry of understanding where the market is going and where this new growing demographic is going. And they have been trying to change up their marketing a little bit and reach these new gun owners for quite some time. And so that was really important to us when we thought about teaming up and collaborating, that they understood and had kind of like the same mission as we did. And they did. And so we partnered up with them. We're launching a big line with them this fall. It should be out hopefully in November. And we've got men's and women's for both of that collaboration. And my husband is so excited because he's been testing products out. And he's like, now he comes to me, he's like, can we make this shirt? Can we make these pants? Because he's like, I just want to live in Alexo. And I'm like, that is great, because you are literally, my husband is no background. He's not military. He's not law enforcement. He was not in the gun industry. He was definitely, he was very corporate. And so I'm like, and he's a new dad. And so he's literally our target audience here of who we're going after. So I'm like, if you want to wear it all day long, then surely other guys like you will want to wear this stuff all day long. So so that's going to be coming out. That's one of those manufacturing things. Man, we were supposed to have launched this thing, I think, last year. And we are just now getting to it for fall of 2021. So
I can, in that regard, definitely say I feel your pain.
oh yeah.
Been through those delays many times, but
yes. Well, I always find it funny because I'm like, manufacturing is not for the type A personality who
no.
always needs to know, which I am, always needs to know, are we going to hit this deadline? What's going on? Where are we in this step of the process? I mean, there's been some things that I just kind of have to like open-handedly be like, well, this is completely out of my control at this point. And
hey, that's great though. It's just like your business. We in manufacturing need to pull in more in different types and represent America. So we're glad to have you on board.
Exactly. So, but yeah, I mean, it has definitely been a long and interesting road. And I still feel like we're learning something new on the manufacturing side. I'm hoping to.
Well, Amy, I've been doing this 30 plus years and I'm still learning something new every day.
I'm telling you, I mean, really, I don't really think you could ever learn it, because then there's always going to be advances and new things that you have to learn, and new processes and new people that come into the manufacturing that have to relearn all of this stuff. So yeah, I mean, but if you're not growing and you're standing still, then you're not going, you're not doing anything. So I always want to be learning, and we hope we are manufacturing majority of our stuff overseas right now, because our good friends, actually, they are Americans, but they've got factories overseas. And so, we hope once everything's lifted and we can travel over there. We were supposed to go last year to go check it all out. But it's like, I literally want to learn every little piece of what's going on with manufacturing, so that when problems do arise, I have a little better understanding of what's going on.
Well, good deal. Is there anything else our viewers should know about what's going on at Alexo?
Well, so, I would just say, just check it out. I mean, if you're looking for good, functional athletic wear that is going to get behind your ability to take care of yourself and live a self-reliant lifestyle, go and check us out. I do think that you will find something that you will love on our website, whether you carry a firearm or not. You will just, like I said, ladies, the compression and the materials and the fabrics and the fit are just, we spend so much time dialing all of that in, that you will love it, even if you don't end up using all the functionality and the features of it. We've got an extended 4th of July sale going on now. I don't know when this airs, but it's going on
That's
now.
a good question.
Yeah, between now
you'll have other sales going on though, right?
But definitely check back and join the newsletter, because we always send out exclusive discounts to our newsletter subscribers that we don't advertise anywhere else. And so you can always get like a good deal on there. And we don't spam you and send you tons of newsletters. It's just to tell you when something's restocked or to get a great discount. But you can check us out at alexoathletica.com and follow us on Alexo Athletica on Instagram and Facebook as well.
Perfect. Amy, thank you. It was a great.
Thank you so much, Jim.
Oh, just great talking to you again. And I look forward to following the men's stuff coming out. And let me put one last plug in. I'm a cyclist, future opportunity. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to Manufacturing Talks with Jim Vanoski. Watch for new episodes dropping on the first and third Tuesdays of every month.